my lecture, I want all of you to focus on this video, what doctors in India have to face today. And the reason for this is the ambulance which the doctor had called to carry the patient was late. That was his fault, and for that he was being beaten up brutally. So let's come to the topic of discussion today, that is how should we deal with violence against medical practitioners. Basically, a violent society is detrimental to the practice of humane medicine. And violence against doctors negates all achievements of modern medicine, whether it is liver transplant or you name whatever advancement we can think of. But then is violence unique to Indian healthcare scenario? This was a study which was done in Israel, which showed the most common causes of violence were long waiting time, dissatisfaction with treatment, disagreement with physicians, and this was published way back in 2005. If we look at other countries, USA, between years 1980 to 1990, 106 healthcare workers died as a result of violence. 27 pharmacists, 26 physicians, 53 nurses, and 57% of all emergency room employees had been threatened by weapons, not verbal assault, by weapons. Sermo is a social networking site of doctors in US, and around 2,300 doctors responded to this survey, in which only 29% said they have never been assaulted in their careers. Of 600 doctors surveyed, 1 in 3 doctors in Great Britain, this was British Medical Association data, they had surveyed 600 doctors, only 1 in 3 doctors in Great Britain had been a victim of physical or verbal attack, 1 in 10 had been physically attacked, and 1 in 20 had been seriously injured. More than 52% doctors who suffered violence, however, did not report the incidence of violence. Chinese doctors. Lancet published an article 2010 where a doctor and nurse were fatally stabbed by the son of a patient who died of liver cancer 13 years ago. A pediatrician had to jump from a 5th floor window to save himself. Lancet also issued an editorial, this was in 2014, in which it said the scale and frequency and viciousness of attacks have shocked the world. This is in regard to violence against doctors in China. And India, Dr. K.K. Agarwal is going to be one of the speakers today. His statement was 75% based on a data published of a survey which was conducted by IMA. 75% of the doctors in the country who responded to this survey have said they have faced violence against themselves. Is this something new? 2001, Shiv Sena leader Anand Dighe, he was admitted at Singhania Hospital, Mumbai, after a roadside accident, and he died. Shiv Sena workers ransacked the hospital. In 2001, the damage was estimated to be 10 crores, and Singhania Hospital at one time decided to shut down the hospital because of this incident. And mind you, the police were all standing as passerbys without interfering. I have always felt that doctors in India are a difficult community to awaken. They like their sleep too much. So I've always wondered, is death of a doctor sufficient cause for us to wake up? I guess not, because this doctor was killed in 2012. She used to work in an ESI hospital and she had referred a patient to a private institution. The patient did not reach the private institution and was declared brought dead. After some time, the husband of the patient, along with 3 friends of his, came and with a sword, he cut across her body. There were 9 slashes on her body. She died. But since 2012, we still like our sleep too much. I can keep on giving examples, but that does not seem to help. So I have simply tabulated, and these are only the recent incidents. These are not very old, all 2015, as you can see. KEM Hospital, JJ Hospital, AIMS, Panchkula. In some incidences, the resident doctors have clashed with the relatives, beaten them up also after some incident. Doctors have been threatened with rape. This lady doctor in Lok Nayak Hospital, Delhi itself, this was 2013, of course, and mob attacks strips doctor and aide in Neelamangala village. This is Times of India, 2014. And recently, October 27, patient allegedly stabs doctor over wife's death in Gujarat. The wife had died 1 year ago. The doctor examined him. He came as a patient. Doctor examined him. Assailant suddenly pulled out a knife, stabbed the doctor twice in the chest and once in the neck. These are pictures we better get used to. And these are not of patients. These are of doctors. A friend of mine, Dr. Rohit Gupta, he's a gastroenterologist at Allahabad, and he was brutally beaten up after death of a patient whom he had gone to see at 4:30 in the morning. But then, again, as I said, these images are not sufficient for us to wake up because we do like our sleep. There are prevention of violence acts in 20 states in the country today. Medical Legal Action Group under RTI, at least in Punjab and Haryana, had asked for information since 2010 to 2014, till 2015, that how many complaints we asked under RTI to all SSPs of Punjab and Haryana, all police stations, to ask them how many hospitals complained of violence to you during this period of 2010 to 2015, how many of these complaints you actually registered as a FIR, and in how many of these FIRs actually action was taken based on the Prevention of Violence Act. Both Punjab and Haryana have this act. In the replies I have received, so far, not a single person has been convicted under these acts, despite these acts being in operation for nearly more than 5 years. So what are the causes of violence against medical practitioners? The image of the medical profession has taken a severe beating. From what it used to be in Hippocrates' time to the modern doctor. Newspaper headlines, they play a very major role. We can't blame them. It is their headlines which sells the newspapers. And headlines like medics lynch, Calcutta man to death over mobile theft, immaterial that the persons actually finally caught were 2 workers of the mess where doctors used to eat. But the heading had said that doctors have lynched this man to death. Patient calls him Yar. Angry doctor leaves surgery midway. This is Chandigarh. Hair transplant surgery going on. Patient misbehaved with the staff nurse. The doctor refused to do further surgery. He went to the police station, made a complaint. Doctor molests minor during checkup. Held. Dead patient kept on ventilator for 6 days. Doctors booked. Nobody tries to give similar headlines once the case is turned on its head and the matter is some another picture comes. But these newspaper headlines leave an image in the mind of the public, and that creates a problem. Boy lost his leg due to negligence of 4 doctors of Bada Hindu Rao Hospital and Safdarjung Hospital. Actually, it was a quack who was treating. This patient was taken to Bada Hindu Rao Hospital. In emergency, they probably there was some delay in managing or whatever. The relatives were dissatisfied, went to Safdarjung, dissatisfied there, took the patient to Meerut, and leg was amputated in Meerut, and the case was against the doctors of Safdarjung and Bada Hindu Rao. Nowhere was the quack mentioned. We have very poor budgetary allocation. This is one of the basic causes. Tempers are rising in government institutions, in emergencies. The reason is for everybody to see. But again, we don't want to see because we like our sleep. There is prolonged waiting. Go to any major hospital in the city today. Look at the lines which are there. Look at the number of hours you have to wait to see a doctor. Safdarjung Hospital, this is news of 12th October 2015. 20 stretchers, 10,000 patients visiting the hospital. Patient with fracture with a plaster had to drag herself up the stairs to reach the OPD to show the doctor. And of course, there is total lack of faith in the judicial system and in the police. Patients feel, or the aggrieved party feels, that I have a grievance, if I'll make a complaint, doctor is well placed, nothing will happen to him, he will get away with it. So they think, let me take the law into my own hands, give 2 or 3 nice ones, so that I get a satisfaction of revenge. But they also have complete faith in the judiciary, in that even if they injure the doctor, even if they assault the doctor, nothing is going to happen to them given our judicial system. There is a mob mentality. We have a very low health literacy. We have to realize there is rising healthcare cost, but then who's responsible for it? We have to accept blame where it is due. There is some problem regarding communication. And as doctors, we are poor at communicating. Medical Legal Action Group had taken lead in this, and last year we had conducted a full-day annual conference where the theme of the conference was communication skills. And we had held workshops where an actor was coached, given a script to act as a difficult patient. A volunteer doctor was taken from the audience and he was made to interact. We videographed the whole thing. We replayed the whole thing, and the discussion on each statement, each action of the doctor was discussed in the hall. And it was a very interesting and an eye-opener for all of us. But we have to realize communication skills are not what I am tested on in my MBBS or MD days. There is so much emphasis given on pathogenesis and pathophysiology, but on my communication skills, I am neither given a lecture nor am I tested. But there are wannabes politicians at the second, third grassroots level who have to indulge in such activities to become politically relevant, to get into the news. Clinical establishments form very easy targets for orchestrated violence. This is orchestrated violence. This is not spontaneous violence. They form easy targets because there is an emotional component. Death has occurred, patient is sick, poor patient, bill, all these are emotional issues. But then, is condemning such actions and a protest march sufficient response? Because we again like our sleep too much. Caste-based, fine sir. Caste-based and other politics. Medical profession is probably the only profession which does not distinguish in the consumers of our services on the basis of their caste or their monetary status or their any discriminatory features. And still, let an adverse event occur, you will suddenly find caste-based organizations raising their head. We have had this problem in Punjab. Ye doctor non-Sikh, Sikh, Dera follower, non-Dera follower. I don't know where these issues come into place where a doctor has operated, patient has died. There is an increasing expectation from patients that with modern medicine and technology, a doctor should be able to guarantee a positive outcome. Violence can be telephonic threats and it can be murder. Doctors have suffered minor physical injuries, and as I have shown, doctors have died. They have gone into depression, insomnia, post-traumatic stress. All this is well documented. So the question arises, how to prevent violence? Do not overreach. Take proper consents. Document everything. Communicate properly. Do not settle by making any compassionate payment. कुछ नहीं हो मैं उन्होंने लाख रुपए देता सी गल मुक गई. Avoid jousting. Jousting is a term you have to learn to live with. Patient has been treated by another doctor, comes to you, you look at the prescription, acha, just that. You haven't made any statement, you haven't written anything, but that is more than enough to condemn the previous doctor. And remember, consent is not a formality. Disclose everything in the consent as far as possible in the language that the patient can understand. Use simple terms. Take high-risk consents where they are needed, especially if you feel the patient is a troublesome patient. I would have added an advocate to this list. Model printed consents can be used, but detailed description of the procedure still is needed. We are holding another annual conference on 13 December this coming for Medical Legal Action Group in Chandigarh. One of the topics there is consent in itself, and I have designed, based on the current judgments and laws, the model consent which should be for a delivery. And the English version is running into 15 pages, and I still have to translate into Hindi, Punjabi for my region. And this has to be made for each procedure, for everything you do. Improve your documentation. Please remember, Kunal Saha judgment, all of us are aware, 11.6 crores was awarded, we criticize it so much. But do you know that when this case first came to National Commission, the National Commission said no negligence?
Please conclude.
Look for violent behavior indicators, collect your staff and friends, and depute someone to take photographs and even audio records of the violence. Photocopy the medical records, inform your advocate, inform the police, identify troublemakers and leaders, get written signed statements from persons present at the scene who will give evidence in your favor. Lodge an FIR with the police. Do not resort to non-reporting culture.
Sir, I'm sorry.
Thank you.